What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Cody Car TV channel. And today we're gonna be talking about Nissan. And maybe wondering, what about Nissan are we talking about? Well, Nissan is back. Okay, the Nissan brand that we remember from the late 90s and early 2000s is back. All right, so Nissan announced a while ago that they're bringing back the Xterra. This is something that's been heavily talked about in the car industry for years. And it's something my dad has been mentioning, talking to me about that Nissan needs to do since they discontinued it back in 2015. Now, a lot of people were thinking, oh, it was going to be like a hybrid with a turbo 4-cylinder, kind of like the 4Runner is, and it was going to be this crossover type thing. And that's not the case. The new Xterra is going to be body on frame. It's going to share the same platform with the Nissan Frontier, the Nissan Pathfinder, and it's going to have a V6. Now, it's not going to have the same VK38 that's in the current generation Frontier, and it's not going to have the same turbo V6 that's in the Armada or the Nissan Z. My take is it's going to have the same V6 that's in the Pathfinder, because a lot of people don't realize the Nissan Pathfinder has a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6. And that engine would fit the Xterra a lot better, because there's a lot of things Nissan can do. Nissan could bump the power numbers up on this engine a lot. This engine can also easily be paired with a hybrid system, because they said there is going to be a hybrid option with the V6. So that V6 could easily be paired with a hybrid engine. So that's kind of where I'm going with. I see a lot of other YouTubers thinking it's going to be the turbo 3 liter from the Z that they're going to put in the Xterra, just a little detuned. And so that's kind of like my take on it. Now, pricing, my take is probably going to be somewhere between the Frontier and, again, the Pathfinder, right? So my guess is base models of these are going to be like mid-30s, right? And then like your average spec'd out ones are going to be low to mid-40s. And then like your Pro 4X edition, or like your your Pro 4X model, which I'm assuming that's what the off-road version of the Xterra is going to be. My take, that's probably going to be similar to the Frontier. It's going to be lower 50s. Maybe for some, like maybe dealers will have like their own editions where, and those will be like mid 50s, right? And that's kind of like how I see that. The Xterra is an amazing SUV, right? It's pretty much Nissan's version to the 4Runner. And this new Xterra is going to be different, because Nissan did have a patent for removable doors and a removable roof. So my guess is they're not only going to target the 4Runner, they're also targeting the Wrangler and the Bronco as well, because with the Wrangler and the Bronco, you can take the doors and the roof off. Now that would be awesome. A naturally aspirated V6 SUV that you can take the doors off and the roof off. That's cheaper than a Jeep, more reliable than a Jeep, a little bit more space on the inside than a Jeep. That'll be awesome. Because with the Bronco, the only 3 engine options available is the 2.3 EcoBoost, the 2.7 EcoBoost, and the 3 liter EcoBoost. So having a naturally aspirated V6 would be amazing for those that want to keep their vehicles for 20 plus years. Now, as when Nissan's releasing this, there's been no like official release date. My take is probably going to be end of next year, like September next year. We'll start seeing more like actual, like fully built, like pre-production models of it. We might see an actual built prototype of it probably later this year, early next year, because it is going to be slated for a 28 model year, along with the body on frame Pathfinder, because Nissan did announce that they are putting the Nissan Pathfinder as a body on frame SUV once again, which is going to be awesome. Now the Pathfinder is going to be more of the on-road going version of the Xterra, kind of like how it was beforehand, right? It was the more on-road going version of the Xterra. The Xterra was like the off-roader. The Pathfinder is more like the on-road city variant. So that's kind of what they're going to go back to, which is awesome. Now, also Nissan did announce that they're bringing the Skyline to America, and yes, they are bringing it to America. And no, it's not going to be a crossover, electric crossover. It's going to be a performance sedan. Now, rather it's going to be branded as Infinity or Nissan. I have no idea about it yet, but they are bringing it back, which is awesome, because my brother is currently living in Japan right now, and he has a 2008 Nissan Skyline GT 350, and he says it's an amazing car. It's a really good sports car, right? And he loves it. And was talking to him about it, and he's excited because he's now a Nissan guy, just like me. Nissan did also announce that they're bringing the Silvia to America again. They're bringing it back, and they're also bringing it to America, which is awesome. And my guess is this is going to be underneath the Z, so this will be along the lines of the Toyota GR86, the Subaru BRZ, and the Mazda Miata. So like this subcompact, sub $30,000 sports car is kind of where the Silvia will be at. And they're also in the works on making the R36 GTR, which is awesome. You know, I'm a car enthusiast. I love cars. I love JDM cars. Huge sucker for JDM cars. And the fact that they're bringing that back is amazing. Nissan is back. Now, there are rumors that they are also bringing back the Titan, now especially with Toyota bringing the Tundra TRD Hammer, and then Ram bringing the Ram 1500 Rumblebee SRT. So Nissan, if Nissan can bring back the Titan with a updated version of the VK56, maybe a little bit more power, upgrade the towing a little bit, and then they do like the Warrior, actually released a Warrior package and have like the Warrior, which could have the same engine that's in the Armada Pro 4X, which is a 3.8 liter twin turbo V6, which is straight out of the GTR. If they take that engine, tune it a little bit differently, throw it in the regular Warrior package, and then have the Warrior R, which would have the VK 56 engine, just slap a supercharger on it, Nissan would save themselves. And then they can market it. If they can learn how to advertise their vehicles properly, Nissan as a brand would be fucking saved just with those few models. And they can still continue making those electric cars, you know, those small little electric SUV things. They can still make those for like the European markets and the Asian markets. And then for their North American markets and even the Australian markets, they can make the Titan, and make the Titan Warrior, because we've all seen the Titan Warrior. We've all played Forza and loved the Titan Warrior because that was supposed to be their Halo vehicle. It was supposed to be their version to the Raptor. It was based on the Titan XD. It had the 5-liter Cummins in it. It had 37-inch tires. It had a 4-inch lift from the factory, front and rear lockers. It had everything, right? And it even revolutionized the lights on top of the truck with that cab spoiler. It was amazing. It's my favorite vehicle to race on Forza. And Nissan never released it. Now, if Nissan was also not only bring back the Titan, but bring back the Titan XD and have like the Titan XD 25 and XD 35 and make their own 1-tons, and maybe get on a deal with Cummins as well, that would be awesome too. And then they can market those and have those be cheaper than what Ford and Ram and Chevy are selling their heavy duty trucks. They'd make a fucking killing, because truck prices are insane right now. That's part of the reason why I haven't gotten a truck yet. And a big reason why I'm a Nissan guy is because Nissans generally are cheaper than everything else. So I was at a Nissan or a Toyota dealer because I was looking at all the mid-size trucks, because that's kind of the market I'm in right now. I don't need a 1-ton or a 1/2-ton or a 3/4 ton. I just need a truck to get me to and from work in and carry my fishing gear to the lake every now and then, right? That's all I need, right? And plus 4-wheel drive. So I'm looking at the mid-size trucks. So I went to all the brands, right, and test drive them all, you know, because my dad had a few Tacomas growing up. My dad also was looking at getting a Frontier once upon a time. And so I went to go look at the Tacomas, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want a Pro 4. I want a TRD Pro, right? I like the TRD Pros. I like the Toyota Heritage Grille. It looks really clean. And I went, and not only is the TRD Pro a hybrid, which hybrids are great. Hybrids have their place. It's just not in a fucking truck, okay? But the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, and if you get $75,000, right? And this was at my local Toyota dealer, and I'm like, wait, they must have gotten this mixed up with the Tundra. No, they did not. Now, my sister was looking for a car herself too, because she had just upgraded from her Chevy Trax to a Honda CR-V, and she was looking at the Toyota RAV4. And she was looking, and then she was with my dad. My dad was telling me the TRD Pro they had at the dealership here, $82,000, which is just fucking crazy. You can buy a well-equipped 1-ton diesel for that price. So That's why I've always been towards Nissan. Nissan's has always been generally cheaper. Now, if they can do the they can do the Titan and have it cheaper than what everyone else is marketing their half tons, it's just on that alone, they will sell like hotcakes. That's why the Frontier sales are increasing, because it's cheap, it's reliable, and it looks good. And it's simple. Nobody wants all this tech stuff. That's what steered me away from the Colorado. I literally was genuinely thinking about getting a Chevy Colorado as well. After I saw the Tacoma prices, I was like, okay, and I was looking at a Chevy Colorado Trail Boss. And for this kind of mid-level truck, too much fucking tech, right? I like the infotainment system. Infotainment system is nice, but the digital dash, that turned me off. And the Ranger's no better, right? The Ranger has a Tesla-looking fucking infotainment system, and again, digital dash, right? And to even use the lockers on the Ford, you got to go through the infotainment system. You got to go through these different fucking menu screens. The Colorado, you don't have to go through the screen. There's a button, but you got to look for it to find it. With the Frontier, everything's simple. Everything's simple. You got a nice looking infotainment system, so it looks modern. You got analog gauge clusters. You got only the buttons that you need. You got nothing you don't need. You don't got all this other tech bullshit. It's simple, it's reliable, it's awesome. That's why I'm going for the Frontier. That's why everyone else has been going for the Frontier. Nissan also, speaking now we're on the topic of the Frontier, Nissan also is coming out with a new trim for the Frontier. You may be wondering, what kind of trim is that? And if you guys want me to do a separate video on this one, I can. So the Nissan's dropping the Nissan Frontier Sport, which is kind of between the SB and the Pro 4X. It takes some resemblance from the Nissan Dark Armor package. So you get a blacked out grille, you get body colored door handles, body colored bumpers. You get obviously a lime green sport decal, you get black wheels. The major thing is up front, you get in those nostril slots that come on the 25s and newer Frontiers, you get LED lights. Like an LED light bar right there, which looks sick. It looks clean. It's modern but old school at the same time, and I fucking love it. Other than that, other than some lime green stitching and lime green trim pieces on the interior, that's pretty much it for it. You also do get a skid plate and the same style bumper that's on the Pro 4Xs. Now, you don't get a locker, which is unfortunate. I think that would have been cool if you got the locker, because that would have been a great starting package for a lot of people that don't want to pay Pro 4X money, but still want a decent off-roader. But as four-wheel drive adventures has shown with a S model Frontier, you don't need a locker for most things. For what most people do off-road, you don't need a locker. So this is awesome. Now the Nissan Z. Nissan Z is a great car. It's one of my favorite sports cars of all time, right? I've had my eyes on it since the 350Z dropped, right? And I've always wanted to get one. And the Z, Nissan did a great job with the Z, right? A lot of people were mad that you couldn't get the Nismo package with a manual, which, you know, I get that. That's a great enthusiast car with a manual. That would have been perfect, right? I totally get that. For 2027, Nissan's updating the Z. They're getting more of a retro looking front fascia. And now you can get the Nismo with the Z, now you can get the Nismo with the manual, which is great. Now, what I think would be cool if they bring back the convertible Zs. That would be awesome. Will Nissan do that? I hope they do. With the trend that they've been on, it looks like they might at some point, and I'm all here for it. You guys let me know in the comments below, what's your thoughts on Nissan? What's your thoughts of what they're doing? And do you think they're heading in the right direction? And if you guys want me to do more car videos, let me know in the comments. But anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.